Hey YouTube, it's Rob. I have a video here. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to discredit plate tectonics, which is a 104-year-old theory that actually um, can't really explain a whole lot because of its inaccuracy. And I know that sounds kind of, arrogant, but it's true. And don't you want to know the truth? And the truth is that how our planet was created is completely different from what science says. Science claims that our planet is created by gravity and accretion, and I can tell you for sure that that's not true. This planet, I can tell our planet was made by electromagnetism, and I'm going to show you some things that can't be explained by plate tectonics. And this is a pretty unusual phenomenon that I found here about our planet. And it's all right in the surface features, so you can't really be disputed because the surface features just don't lie. They are what they are, and if they happen to show how the earth was created, then that's the way it is. You can't change that, and that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, so anyways, you notice here's South America and here's the Fiji island, and you see this spot right here. It seems a little suspicious to have one of these in the ocean floor bottom. And that's the other thing is that people don't seem to pay much attention to the features on the surface of the ocean floor bottom, because if they had, they would notice that this looks a lot like this. And you know already, well, most of you know that my theory is based upon reoccurring patterns because they're all over the place. You can't you you can't miss them. They're everywhere. Hundreds of them, thousands, all of the same incident that created the planet. That's what they are. And they're everywhere. Here, there, 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 there. You see what I'm saying? Now let me show you, better what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, here's the Hawaiian island chain. And this is the overlay that I've shown you earlier. This is that area um, down here. Okay, so you see Hawaii underneath, right? Looks like it lines up pretty good, right? Even up here a little bit. You can see that some of the other things line up here too with the stuff below. But there's one thing though that's a little odd about this, even though it lines up perfect, is that this looks a lot like this. Looks a lot like Hawaii. Except for there's one problem. It's reversed. I mean, if you think about it, this is like if I flip this way, this square, this triangle, whatever, will be pointing the opposite way that Hawaii is. So how's that possible? Let's try something. Watch. Um, there, I reversed it. You can see that this is now facing the other way, and then when I did that, I'm getting alignment here. But it looks like I need to rotate. So Let's rotate this thing. You see how that fits perfect? See, watching through here. Right? You can see that that is what it is, right? I don't know, I think any closer and we might actually hit someone's house, so I don't want to get too close here. That's pretty good resolution though, right? That's actually solid evidence. And if you noticed, I had to reverse it. So what does that mean? Well, to me, that means that our planet has unfolded somehow. And I know that's going to be hard for some people to wrap their heads around. But if you look right here, you can actually see maybe evidence of an unfolding. You know, just remember, just because you don't think so doesn't mean that I'm wrong. That'd be your biggest mistake, is assuming that I'm wrong because you don't think so. I'm just saying that because I get a lot of heat for this, and I know I'm right. Okay, there's a difference. If you haven't researched this and you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, if you knew the amount of research that I've done for this, you'd probably reconsider. But people always assume, so I don't blame you for not getting this or whatever. But just don't attack me for it. Anyways, so here we go. None of this can be described by plate tectonics, by the way. I guarantee you that. That's why I'm saying not only does this prove that plate tectonics can't be right, everything else I've been showing proves it. But this right here is a sign that plate tectonics cannot answer questions that I'm raising here. There's just no way that it could possibly explain a mirror image lining up like that, both directions. Because this involves rotation and some kind of opening, and that would be magnetism related, not gravity or anything like that. Um, but you can see that there's other alignments now too, that if I reversed it back. So anyways, I'm going to continue on with this since we're over here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Alright, so here's Hawaii. Here's our west coast here in America. I live exactly right here. That's where I live. Right next to Palm Springs. See, you can see me waving. Hold on. Yeah, I'm right there. Yeah. Okay, so here's that same area, but I made a negative of it, the reverse coloring. And let me bring it in. Here's Hawaii. Here it is, the reoccurring pattern of it, but back the other way again with unreversed, and it's backwards now and upside down. So I wanted to show you, and this is from down south. This is down by South America, opposite side of the equator, basically. So this area is. So according to plate tectonics, there should be no alignments here. Besides, it's the Pacific plate. Why would there be reoccurring patterns in the same plate? Alright, so, and reversed no less. You see how you start to see how common sense pretty much starts to prove that plate tectonics is going to have a serious problem here. Because if the observable if the observable evidence doesn't support a theory, the theory has to change. And it doesn't matter how many people believe that theory, it has to change. And it doesn't matter how old that theory is, it has to change. That's how science works. You can't have it your way. It's got to be that way. That's the beauty of science. But you're going to find out that after I show you this, they're not going to accept it, even though it's obviously uh, proving that their theory wrong. That's because our mainstream science doesn't go by scientific method no more. It totally goes against its rules. So what you're getting for science is actually fiction. And that's because they don't follow the rules anymore. They decided to go ahead and just do whatever they want and tell you whatever they want. And you believe them. And this is a problem. And I'm showing you right now that one of the biggest sciences here is plate tectonics. And we're having an earthquake soon, by the way, because they keep reminding us about how the San Andreas fault is ready to go. So they're priming you for an earthquake, because they obviously know something you don't. But yeah, go ahead and keep believing them. So anyways, I'm going to show you some other stuff here. Oh yeah, let's zoom in. We can zoom in as close as you guys like to see if this matches up. Reoccurring pattern. Look at this, actually looks like, well, you can't see it through here. Hold on. This right here looks like that. Actually, these all look like that. Do they not look like they're spinning, rotating? They look like the same thing. Spinning step by step. Here's this angle, this angle, this angle. You can see that it's spinning. So whatever made I get people all the time that tell me, "No, bro, hot spots made Hawaii." And I'm telling you, they that's not true. You don't understand. That's the whole point of what I'm showing you. This is because what they told you isn't how it happened. Hot spots don't rotate when they make patterns, do they? Not only that, hot spots don't make sense, because how could you have a hot spot underneath a plate that's pretty thick, right? You're gonna have, it's what kind of laser? It would have to be like a laser hot spot, because heat's gonna hit the bottom of the plate and it's gonna expand out. You're not gonna get a hot spot that small, and that's just common sense. And common sense also says that hot spots don't rotate, and you can clearly see this island was made by a rotation hotspot. Okay, if you're so hooked up on hotspots. Now come on, think about it. That piece right here, it looked like this one, only because it's not turned this way to look like this one. Okay, man, we're gonna learn something really cool tonight. What I want to do is simple. You can see these lines here, right? Have you ever heard anything about what those lines are? Yeah, me neither. But my mind just says, well, follow them. Follow the lines. Alright, so here we go. Let's follow the lines. Sometimes lines actually have a purpose. Let's see if we can figure out this one's. What's this? Can't be right. There's right. There. You see that? That's the San Andreas fault line runs through here, right? Well, if we're fixed to a plate, why am I running this and lining it up as I move along? You see that? Bro, You can't use Google Earth to make alignments and use it as evidence because it uses cloning tools, and the reoccurring patterns that you see are cloning tool marks, whatever. I don't think so, actually, and I do believe I can use this as evidence because it's actually pretty accurate. Let's take a look. You see that? Now you see this? Bro, Yellowstone Park's right here. Uh-oh. How's that possible? You see how it's lining up? No. Well, it is. Okay, you can take my word for it. Reoccurring patterns, man. Look, right here. Let me zoom out. Right here. And then, you know what? That flip-flop. Let's take a look down here because there's something else down here. I can't see it, actually. The Grand Canyon's right here. So it wouldn't surprise me if these lined up with the Grand Canyon, if you know what I mean. Here's our flower. I always say that Yellowstone Park, it looks like a rose. Uh-oh, look at this though. It's not over yet though, there's more. The whole story's coming in. Look at this. It almost looks like a storm just came in and bam. You see that? As a matter of fact, look at that. Right there. You see that? And when I line this up, these pock marks and stuff, which is electrical related. This is from electrical. There's no doubt about it. And when I line these up, these usually line up somewhere else of importance because the whole planet is reoccurring patterns. And they all backtrack to the same event that created the whole planet. That's why I'm trying to show people. I know I feel like I do feel like a jerk for ruining the party for Plate Tectonics, but I'll be honest with you. Don't you guys want to know the truth? I mean, aren't you guys getting tired of being like manipulated or trained to see things differently? But this doesn't end here. This is just warming up, actually. You can see the alignments here, right there. How this whole thing lines up with this. There. Everywhere. See how it hits here and does its thing, and right here. Okay, so it hits here like that. You can see how it lines up. The markings would be the same. Guess what? It does it again up here. How is that possible, right? I don't know. Have you guys ever heard anything, explanations for this from Plate Tectonics? Well, you're not going to, actually. You'll be lucky if you hear about this ever again, actually. See how this is matching up the coastline, especially if I was to rotate it. There. Okay. Bro, that's not scientific. Yes, it is. I get that a lot too. I get people telling me, "Oh man, what you're doing is not scientific, man." And then I have to come back and say, "Well, they'll tell that to Charles Darwin, because he had to actually sketch his own images to match them up." At least this is supposedly from a satellite. So you can see how I'm lining up everywhere, right? You know that there's no, this is not coincidence. And then not only that, look at this down further down the line here. You can see that well, why would it match here and over there? Because it is going to. Does it this way? Hey, there's Florida. See how it still lines up? Because you look at the markings out here and it lines up with them as it comes in. You still think plate tectonics is right and I'm wrong? Well, you do, if you do, you need some help, because there's no chance of that. Okay, let me continue. I gotta hurry. Okay, here's the same area, but now what I've done is I've taken some straight-on shots of North America and the Fiji Island area to give it more accuracy, because this way there's no curvature distorting certain images. I don't want to. I know people will complain about that too. But so anyways, and I brightened this so that you could see through this a little easier. But here we go with more of a straight-on shot. I don't know. Can you tell me if you think that this is an exact match? No, bro, it's not. Yeah, it is. Because look, it even matches right here as I pull this out. You can see that this is how this is made. This is like a template. Okay. Now I showed it going down this way too. And sure enough, it matches here too. Actually, you see these areas. You know, it's odd. These are areas where there's sand and no less mountains. So this is the Salton Sea right here, by the way. See that fits in here. These marks continue to, and while I'm fitting this here, you can see these contours are fitting the other areas. You see that? This is powerful evidence. Now, like I said before, I hate sounding like a broken record, but you got to understand the comments that I get after these videos. I have to try to cover all my bases, because I get people just don't want to believe. Here's the thing. In reality, it's known that once a person's convinced a lie, it's nearly impossible to convince them of the truth. And this is the problem I'm having. And I think this may actually make it harder for people to actually see this, because their subconscious is already committed to something else. And therefore, I think it actually makes it harder for people to see the obvious, because they've already committed themselves to believing something else. And then when someone shows them something that 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 challenges what they think is already real, they become defensive. And I get a lot of angry replies from people. They're upset. They're upset, and they just want to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. None of this that I'm doing is any good, blah, blah, blah. And this is what I deal with every time I put one of these videos out. And I'm trying to confront that situation here in the video ahead of time, because I already know what's going to happen when I post this video. I'm going to get comments like that. I'm going to get comments like uh, cue the Twilight Zone music, or hey, uh, what is it? Another one. Somebody called me a tard, which is yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that guy. His name is it was hold on, yeah, some douchebag called um, Millertopia, and he had a last name too. And I asked him. He called me a tard, and I said, well, what is Millertopia? Oh, he asked me what does a spillover mean, and I go, but he called me a tard. He goes, hey tard, what does a spillover mean? I said, why the fuck should I tell you? Um, I go, what is Millertopia? Anyways, is that like some kind of paradise for morons? I go, or does your parents hate you? You know, it never ends though. These people. So, anyways, that's what I deal with all the time, and you can see this looks a lot like this, which makes me leery because it is a six looking shape, and then you get another six, and all I need is one more to complete the set. You know what I mean? And I wonder about that. Because to me, this is what I'm showing you is actually pretty easy to see and understand, and it shouldn't be this hard to figure out, you know. So I wonder. You see these marks going up that way, and then you see this one. Like a perfect glove, don't you think? This is like better than if this is better than fingerprint evidence. I mean, it's so freaking exact. You can see that it's exact. I actually see half a tree on one and the other half on another. It's like it's so perfect. I mean, you can't get better than this. Plate Tectonics wishes it had proof like this. It would be solved if they did. That's why I think I've solved how our planet was created. That's the beauty about having the correct information, is you can actually solve something. Um, Plate tectonics is 104 years old, and it hasn't really solved anything. It just told you that there's plates and there's earthquakes, and basically they told you how they think they happen. Other than that, they haven't solved anything. They haven't been able to predict them or anything. They haven't even. I don't even think they haven't even tied them to the sun and what the sun does, and that has a lot to do with earthquakes. And then there's of course electromagnetism, and all you need is some kind of a weapon or something that shoots a lot of electromagnetism. You could probably start your own earthquake. So, anyways, okay, I'm showing you these lineups here. You can see this thing right here. Oh, what's this, Australia? That's absurd. Australia has no business being here. But yet, oh, it starts to fit, doesn't it? How's that? It's impossible. Well, no, it's not. It only seems impossible because you've been told to look at this differently. You see that? It's not impossible. It's only impossible because you think so. Little rotation and boom. Hey, look how close I could go visit Australia. My friends in Australia that thumbs up my video. Look how close we are. Because if you noticed, there's some of these textures right here actually line up perfect over here. That can't be a coincidence. And you can see this is actually excellent evidence. It doesn't get better than that. You can't get the evidence this good. I mean, this is like a rare occasion. Oh yeah, what's this? Could this be related to? Well, I'm sure it could be. Okay, so You see all that, right? I know there's something I'm missing. Yeah, you know that I was telling you about the 6 right here. You got 1, 2, and you got 3. And I think that's a pretty strange coincidence. Because sometimes I actually wonder if this planet is actually manufactured. Uh, I know that sounds impossible, but there we go again with our limited thinking. It's not so impossible when you have a huge electrical source of power called the sun, not far from here actually. All it takes is well, I would think, I mean, you never know. I mean, have you ever seen when electrical wires short out? You know, I mean, could you imagine shorting out the sun on a planet or something? That'd be insane. But I'm just suggesting, keeping my mind open. Not saying that that happened or anything like that. My mind always thinks about things just in case they could be real. Look at that line up right there. Well, this lines up over here. Now there's 1, 2, 3, right? So there must be another place up here where this lines up, and I would assume another place down here where it lines up to match these 3. And you can see how easily I can predict certain things like that. I then can start seeing how Florida was made because of that. And that's also part of science, by the way, is using your theory to predict things ahead of time. And you can call that right there a prediction. Florida. And look at this also. You see the Gulf of Mexico. Well, these Fiji Islands that look like they're rotating fit pretty good in there, don't they? Too good. And then it looks like it may have gone this way. And you see that sharp line right there, or that maybe that's something to do with this. Or could it be this? Florida. Looks like we need some rotation too, by the way. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you guys. Oh, I hope this thing isn't running long here. Is that there are features on Australia uh, that line up with our features here. More evidence proving that these two were on top of each other at the same time when they were being made. And plate tectonics does not cover anything like that. And I can tell you that this will also fit when I rotate it back up again. But you can see how we've got alignments here. And then on top of that, features in the background, just colors that aren't showing up as well as I remember them, but they are there and they do line up. Maybe I have to back out and see them better, or I might have to rotate this thing. But you get the point, right? Now, I mean, okay, if you don't believe me, then how are you going to discredit me after I've shown you all these alignments? And this is just one area. I can do this several more times with different areas, complete different areas around our planet. I just don't have the time to do it in one video. But but I guarantee you I forgot stuff here that I wanted to show you because that happens every time. So that means that, so you never really get the whole story from me. So no matter how hard I try, I never get the whole thing in here. So anyways, thanks for your time. And as you can see how easily I can discredit plate tectonics. And you've got to agree with me. I mean, you've seen these alignments, and I don't know what else to say if you can't see that. Look at that right there. So anyways, thanks for watching. Take it easy.